What are my thoughts on the conflict in Iran? What do I think of war and investment and wealth, and what do you do in times of war? Now, you see what's really interesting, I woke up on Sunday morning and I had one of my community members actually reach out to me and say, Scott, you've got lots of videos, but do you have a video on how to invest in a war? And I was like, what are you talking about? I didn't even know about it because I don't tend to follow social media and the news. I don't react. And I want to share with you what my thoughts are on Iran, on the conflict, on the war, and what do you do about it when it comes to investment, your wealth, and actually importantly also your psychology. Because what I monitored over the last week was that numerous different groups were talking, not even just my investment groups or my clients or my communities, but even just my friends were talking about it. And so I wanted to share with you 3 lessons that you can use in any conflict or crisis in terms of the world. So let's get started. The first one is something I learned from Robert Kiyosaki. And it's really interesting because there's 2 types of economics in the world. You've got microeconomics and you've got macroeconomics. Now, microeconomics is all about your own portfolio, your own investments, etc. Macroeconomics is macro. It's whether America's bombing Iran or not. Now, what's really interesting is that there's nothing you can do about macroeconomics. Nothing. You can stand on your head, you can tweet, you can go on social media, you can join a march with 200,000 people for peace. It doesn't make any difference. You know, again, I'm not getting into an esoterical argument as to whether it's the right thing or the wrong thing to do. What I'm interested in is it's not going to make any material impact on you as an individual, cannot make any impact on macroeconomics. It's not going to happen. So the only thing you can focus on is microeconomics. And I learned this from Robert Kiyosaki. Basically, in simple terms, you got your income. So most people earn an income through active income. You actually go out and you hustle and you make, you add value in the world and you get an income. You've got your expenses. Your aim is that your income needs to be more than your expenses. You want to get a surplus. Okay, that surplus, you want to basically invest in assets. And those assets should be earning you an income. Okay, a passive income. These little blue lines are lots of passive incomes. And when you are free is when your passive income replaces your active income and is higher than your expenses. So the golden formula is where your passive income is greater than your expenses, you are free. That's it, ladies and gentlemen. That is microeconomics. You're 100% in control of this. You're 100% in control of how much value you add in the world and the income that you earn for it. You're 100% in control of your expenses and whether you've got a surplus between your income and your expenses. You're 100% in control of whether you go buy fancy nice clothes or cars or watches or whatever, or whether you invest in assets. And you're also 100% in control whether you invest like mom and pop investors and buy houses that don't give you any income and other type of assets like that, or if you buy assets that provide you with passive income. And if you focus on this formula, by the way, this is nothing new. This is how to get wealthy. Then you're in control of your destiny. And you don't need to worry about whether Iran is being bombed or whatever the latest conflict was. By the way, Iran conflict, no different from the Ukrainian conflict, no different from COVID, no different from 9/11, no different from the global financial crisis. Like, it happens over and over again, these calamities and these crises. So that's the first thing that becomes really important. The second thing that becomes really important is that, oh, sorry, I actually need my board here. The second thing that becomes really important is that, something I learned from Tony Robbins, funny enough, is that, there's people out there that are dabblers. I've done this so many times, I'm not going to repeat it too much. But there's people out there that are dabblers. And they just try new things all the time. They never learn anything. So I'm not even worried about them. But there are people that are stressors. Now, I was a stressor. So what happens with a war? They go and they stress and they stress and they try to read the news and they go on blogs and they 10 things and they stress and they try to figure it all out themselves. And they go ask questions, and I had some guy saying to me, I should be in oil futures. I was like, what do you know about oil futures? What's your day job? Whatever your day job is. Now suddenly you're an expert in oil futures. It's not going to happen. It's never going to happen. You will not win. The only way to do it is to become a master. And what do masters do? They find people that are already doing it, and they copy them. They model and master them. And even better, they partner with them. So as an example, when I found out about the crisis on Sunday morning, what do? Well, Garth is the CEO and founder of my family office that I work with. And he was off fishing in the Maldives. Couldn't get hold of him. Didn't even try. Knew he was in the Maldives, knew he wouldn't answer because he doesn't answer in a crisis, doesn't have to. So I got hold of Anthony. Now, Anthony works closely with Garth. They work very close together. I said, Anthony, what do you think we should do? And he said, oh, we need to look at this, we need to look at this, we need to look at this. Great. So what's really interesting is that on Wednesday, Anthony's coming to our mastermind, and we've got 150 people in our mastermind, and he'll be sharing with what are the wealthiest people doing in the world, what do they think about this current crisis, and most importantly, what should we do with regards to investing, our wealth, decisions, etc. So you can do it all on your own, and stress, or you can choose a different path, which is modeling and mastery. Find people that are already doing it. Find people that are managing $1 billion for some of the wealthiest families in the world, and just copy what they're doing. Or better still, join us and partner with them. Now, a good example of this, we've got a wealth weekend coming up from the 18th to the 22nd of March. You can click on the link below. So literally just go to the links below and click on the link. And you can attend that either live, which is 2.5 days with our family office, live in the room, or you can come to the virtual. So again, you can click on it live or virtual, and you can literally come in the room and you can learn what is the latest trends, what is the latest psychology of investing, what are the latest assets, how do you manage this risk in terms of this uncertainty, how do you diversify properly, how do you protect your wealth, how do you create generational wealth. And rather than coming and learning from a talk, these are panels, these are discussions, come and be part of the conversation. So, do you want to keep stressing about Iran and every other conflict and crisis that's happening in the world? Or do you want to model and master and literally learn from what the wealthiest people are doing in the world, copy them, or better still, partner with them? Because that's lesson number 2. So, I remind you of what I went through there. Lesson number 1, don't worry about the macroeconomics, nothing you can do about it. Focus on the microeconomics. Here's your golden formula to freedom, literally copy it. Lesson number 2, well, mastery. Stop stressing and trying to do it all yourself and focus on mastery and partnership to be able to get there. Now, I want to go to lesson number 3, and lesson number 3 is a really interesting one because this is the psychology of wealth. And I'm going to pivot now to sharing my screen so that you can see what lesson number 3 is all about. So the third lesson I want to share with you, and you can see on my screen here, is that we've got wealth hackers. Now, according to Deepak Chopra, if you try to do something on your own, you've got less than 50% chance of success. If you do it with a husband, a wife, a business partner, a friend, you've got a 60% chance of success. If you do it in a like-minded community, you've got a higher than 70% chance of success. Now, I find that really interesting because if you look at the laws of nature, if a bird is flying in a flock, it can fly 70% further than a bird flying on its own. And I believe there has to be a correlation between those two. So we have a digital community. We call it our wealth hackers. We've also got a higher level than that, which is called our mastermind, Private Wealth Global. And that's where we work directly with the family office. Now, whenever we get insights from our family office, I take those insights and I turn them into white papers. We call that our wealth transformation pack. So there's over 20 white papers here that go into a lot of detail. Now, I don't have time to go into all of them, but you've got mindset and purpose, you've got core wealth principles, you've got passive income and psychology, you've got investment vehicles and structure, you've got advanced mastery, portfolio planning, etc. And then you've got big picture, future, and legacy. Today, we're just focusing on passive income and psychology. And you can see here that there's a white paper on the psychology of money and investing in uncertain times. Now, ironically, we literally did this last year when we had the whole Trump tariffs thing in April, where the market dropped massively. So what you do is you go down to this, and this is back to mastery. You can try and do this all yourself. You can try to figure this all out yourself, or you can literally copy what the wealthiest people are doing and what are the advice that the family office shares with the wealthiest people, and you can literally copy it, or better still, you can partner with them. So if you look here, some of the key takeaways from what he shared. Volatility is normal. Don't time the market. Stay invested. Plan for uncertainty, and psychology matters. Now, if you look at this graph here, the orange at the bottom there is the biggest drop per day in the market. And then the blue is whether the market actually finished on a high or not. So what was interesting is that most years actually finish on a high. And so people try and time the market, they try to get in and out, there's uncertainty, there's chaos, there's crisis, and they get it wrong, like virtually all the time. That's why Garth Wellman, the CEO and co-founder of the family office, whenever there's a crisis, he just goes fishing so people can't get a hold of him. The next thing I want to share with you is that if you had $10,000 invested from 1979, if you invested the entire time in the market, it'd be worth $1.7 million. If you'd missed just the best 5 days, it'd be worth $1 million. If you miss the best 10, it would be worth 762,000. If you miss the best 30, it'd be worth 274. And if you miss the best 50, it'd be worth $120,000. Timing the market does not work. What about this? If you put your money in and out of the market, you've got a 53% chance of making money. But if you leave it in for 10 years, you have a 97.4% chance. If you went to a casino and you could bet on red or black, but you had a 97.4% chance of winning, you'd feel pretty confident. And so back to this is all about the psychology of money. And again, whenever there was a tumultuous or a crisis, I don't try and figure it all out myself. That's what stressors do. I go straight to mastery. I go find out what the wealthiest people in the world are doing. So what did he share with everyone? Stick to the plan. Don't let short-term noise derail your long-term investment strategy. Number 2, diversify across buckets. Match income needs with stable assets and allow time for growth assets to recover. By the way, at the Wealth Weekend, again, you can click on the link below, join us live or virtual. He will literally be sharing with you a strategy on how you create 3 buckets. And ultimately, it is the most resilient way to build a portfolio. And 85% of your long-term wealth by the time you're 65 will come down to your portfolio construction. Are you doing it? Do you have a financial planner that, quite frankly, doesn't know how to do it? Or do you have a family office that looks after the wealthiest people in the world and they can do it for you? Stay the course. Avoid selling during a panic. Most losses are temporary unless acted upon. And then finally, educate yourself on market cycles. Understanding past patterns builds confidence during downturns. Come to the Wealth Weekend. Come and learn what the best people in the world are actually getting. So again, you can click on the link below. So that's what I want to share with you. Lesson number 3 is all about the psychology of money and investing on uncertain terms. The pattern continues to repeat itself. Learn from history, learn what the wealthiest people in the world are doing, and copy them. Okay, so you've got lesson number 3 now. Let's took and summarize what I just said to you, because there's 3 parts, very important parts to how I feel about Iran, the conflict, and any other crisis. Number 1, you need to be 100% control in your microeconomics, the thing you can control. And this is the golden formula to freedom. Stop worrying about macroeconomics. There's nothing you can do about COVID. There's nothing you can do about the way the country's behaved in COVID. There's nothing you can do about Ukraine. There's nothing you can do about Israel. Nothing you can do about Iran. Forget about it. Focus on what you can control. Secondly, you can be out there stressing, figuring it all out yourself, or you become a model and master. And you can come to our Wealth Weekend. Again, click on the links below and join us. Come and be part of the conversation. Learn what the wealthiest people are doing in the world, copy them, or better still, even partner with them. And number 3, you can understand the psychology of money. Again, as part of mastery, you can understand the psychology of money and the fact that these market cycles and market calamities and crises have happened for centuries. They will continue to happen. And what you need to look at is what are the wealthiest people in the world doing, and copy them. Nothing changes. The only thing that changes is the story. Remember this time last year, it was tariffs. The stories change, but the patterns never change. So understand the patterns, understand what the wealthiest people are doing in the world, model and master them, and that is the easiest way to deal with any crisis. I hope you enjoyed that. Click on the link below. Join us at the Wealth Weekend. You can either come live or virtual, and most importantly, if you found value from this, share it with your friends. I know everyone's talking about this crisis. What do you do about it? Well, I'm here to not focus on the problem and drama, but provide you with solutions. My name is Picken. If you enjoy this, subscribe to the channel. I bring these out every single week. Our whole intention is to empower everybody to invest like the top 1%. This information and these partners used to only be the bastions of the wealthiest people in the world. You used to have $250 million to get access to this information and these partners. Click on the link below and you can now join either live in the room or virtual and get the information at a fraction of that cost, and everybody can now invest like the top 1%. I hope that helps. Happy investing, and let's try and remove all the anxiety and focus on the solutions. See you at the event.